Hi, Early. It's me again. Thanks again for the email. Great question and great job being proactive and not just continuing on with your math when you see that you got some wrong. So always reach out. It's a great, that's the best strategy you can have. So I'm going to go through these real quickly with you, and I'm hoping, like yesterday, I'm hoping this helps you. So what I did is I just picked the three problems that I saw you got wrong, and we're going to go through these. At the same time, I want to reiterate these are just assignments, and I know it looks like it's affecting your grade a lot right now. That's because it's early and you haven't taken any tests. Once you take a test, these assignments won't affect you as much. And so don't be afraid to get some wrong. And you know, the biggest thing you can do is making sure you understand what you did wrong before you move on. That's the biggest key. Don't worry about the grade. Just remember the grade is primarily going to be made up from your tests. And when you get to that test and you struggle a little bit, we can always talk then about a retake or something like that. So don't be concerned, but continue to be proactive like you are and reaching out to me. So let's look at a couple of these. The first one that I saw you got wrong. You'll notice, by the way, all of these are really about ratios and rates. You're in an algebra class. You're probably wondering, where's the algebra? These are just ratio and rates. Well, ratio and rates are really important for algebra for the topic you're getting into because they're going to come back to a lot of these concepts. So you got to they're doing this little review so that you don't forget about these things and like I said, they'll come back. So anyway, here we go. Number one. A box has dimensions of 14 inches long, 1.5 feet wide, and 7 inches high. Now, that's probably the first thing you need to pay attention to that you may have missed. It says 1.5 feet. You'll notice these are both in inches, and this is feet. And the question is, what is the volume of the box? And here's the formula. Formula is length times width times height. Another formula you can use is just the area of the base times the height. So if we have a box, I'm going to attempt to draw this here. If we have I'm a visual person, so I like to draw things out for myself. However, I'm a horrible drawer, so hopefully this does more. All right, that was not good. Let me try that again. All right, so here's my box. Believe it or not, I can do this when I actually can control the marker here. Okay, so this guy's going to match up with that corner. This guy is going to match up with this corner. This guy is going to match up with this corner, and it's a wavy line for some reason, and this corner. So we have our, and it really doesn't matter which dimension you say is what. So I'm going to call this is my height, this is my length, and this is my width. So another way of getting volume is just getting the area of the base, whatever shape the base is, times the height. That works for any prism. So we have a 14 inches here. We have 7 inches high here. And then this one I'm not going to put in here because it says it's 1.5 feet. Well, I need to do some work. Since these are both in inches, I'm going to convert this guy to inches. So 1.5 feet would be equivalent to, I have to take this guy and multiply him by 12, since there are 12 inches in a foot. And I'm going to use some mental math here. I know that 12 times 1 is 12. And I know that half of 12 is 6. So all I have to do is add those together, and I get 18 inches. So now all I have to do is multiply these three numbers together. So 18 by 14 by 7. And when you do that, I'm going to quick do that on my calculator here. 18 times 14 times 7 gives me 1,764, and this would be inches cubed. Now, I want to make sure, because I forgot, whether or not it is in feet or inches, this problem. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we got the right answer there. Perfect. All right, so there's the first problem. So again, pretty straightforward. Really just using the formula, but I'm guessing you might have made the mistake of you didn't see this was feet, and you had to convert that to inches. So hopefully that helps out. Quick fix, easy. Okay, the next one. A Falcon flew 70 miles in 3 hours. What was the speed of the Falcon? The options, however, if I remember right, the options for this problem were meters per second. So we got a double whammy here because notice we're in miles and we're in hours. So we got to convert the miles to meters and the hours to seconds, which sounds again daunting, but it's really not bad because all we're going to do is we're going to use the conversions that they gave us. And maybe I didn't copy that over. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. So here it is. So 1 mile is equivalent to 1,609 meters. So I have 70 miles. So the first thing I need to do is I need to multiply 70 times 1,609 to convert this to meters. So when I do that, I am going to get a big number of 112,630 meters. Now, if you're wondering, how did I know to multiply them? Well, this conversion tells me, okay, 1 mile equals 1,609 meters. So notice I'm going from a small number to really big. That means the mile is a much larger unit. So if I have 70 miles, I got to convert each one of those miles to meters. So I got to multiply each one of those times the total 1,609 meters. So hopefully that makes sense. Now I got to convert the hours. This one's a little easier because it's 3 hours. Oh man, sorry, it is Thursday. I'm struggling using my marker here. So 3 hours. I'm going to convert that now to seconds. So the first thing I got to do is I got to go from hours to, holy cow, early. I am really struggling here. From hours to minutes. And I know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. So I'm going to multiply those 3 hours times 60 minutes. Then I'm going to multiply times 60 again because I know there are 60 seconds in a minute. So when I do that, I am going to get 10,800 seconds. So I now have it in the units that they want me to have according to the possibility. So I got my meters up here, I got my seconds down here, and now it's just a matter of I got to divide these. I have to get a unit rate. And unit rates, again, are really, really important for algebra. So when I divide these out, I am going to get 10.4 meters per 1 second. Okay, and that is, I believe, one of the answers that they gave. So hopefully that made sense. Okay, just again using rates and ratios and units, and I had to do a little converting. Okay, then we go from distance conversions to now we're going to look at some fluids, some weights, and capacities, but we're really doing the same math. So Earl needs to fill juice cups for his little brother's birthday party. There are 25 juice cups. So I'm going to circle that. That's an important one there. So the juice cups, this is not like an actual measuring cup. This is just a cup. Okay, I got 25 of these cups. Okay, if you can measure or imagine, there's my cup, like a coffee cup or a little cup that they have at parties. And there's 12 fluid ounces in each one of those. Okay. And again, I got 25 of these. So right off the bat, I can think in my head, I know I'm going to have to do some multiplying there. The 25 cups times the 12 fluid ounces each, and that's going to give me how much I'm going to need. But let's keep reading here. The juice comes in 1 gallon bottle. So I'm going to go to the store, or Earl is, and he is going to buy a 1 gallon bottle of juice. But he wants to make sure he can fill all of the cups. So we want to know how much does he need to purchase. So my first thing I'm going to do is, like I said a moment ago, is I'm going to take those 25 cups and I'm going to multiply that by the 12 fluid ounces. That's going to tell me how much of that juice I actually need. So when I multiply that out, 25 times 12 gives me a nice even number of 300 fluid ounces. So this is my, man, am I struggling using my marker today? So I apologize for that. Fluid ounces, okay? This is an F, okay? The next thing I need to do is, okay, now this is how many fluid ounces I need. However, it comes in gallon jugs. So I got gallons and I got fluid ounces. That doesn't help me. So for what I need to do now is I need to convert these fluid ounces to figure out how many gallons is that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use these conversions that they told me up here. So it says 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts, and 1 quart is equal to 32 fluid ounces. So if I only have 1 gallon jugs, I know I already have 4 quarts. So I'm going to start there. So there are my 4 quarts. There's my 1 gallon jug. And then it tells me again that the quarts, each quart holds 32 ounces. So I'm going to multiply that 4 times 32. I got my 3-year-old son here asking me a question about pliers. Hold on, buddy. Was there pliers? Sorry, Early. This is the life of a virtual teacher. All right, so now, I got my 4 quarts, and in each of those quarts holds 32 ounces, so I'm going to multiply that, and that's going to give me, I did my multiplication already, 128 ounces, or fluid ounces. Okay, just so you know, they are the same thing. So an ounce, when we say ounces, we're measuring a solid. When we say fluid ounces, we're measuring a liquid. But they really, they mean the same things. They weigh the same. Okay, so now the question is, well, how many gallons do I need to get? Well, if I need 300 fluid ounces, and in each one of those gallons, so remember, this is equal to 1 gallon jug. Okay, that's kind of important understanding there. So what I need to do now is figure out, okay, how many of these gallon jugs do I need to get 300? Well, if I get 2, so if I multiply this by 2, the 128 times 2, not adding, but multiplying, I'm going to end up with only, this is going to get me 256 fluid ounces. Well, that's not enough. So that tells me right there, I need 1 more gallon. So I need a total of 3 gallons. Okay? All right. Hopefully that, again, made sense. All right. And the last question, kind of similar, but now it's kind of a combination of this one and the one we did in number 1, because we got some volume here. Okay? Because so we're gonna figure out how much paint we can fit into this tray. So the first thing I need to do is figure out, well, how much paint can fit into the tray. So we have 1 gallon of paint. We know that already. And the tray is able to hold 10 inches wide, 12 inches long by, and here it is again, 5 centimeters deep. So again, the tricky part about this is we got to pay attention to the units. We don't have the same units. So since these are both in inches, I'm going to change the centimeters to inches. So it tells me, and this is kind of a common one, this would be a good one to know, that 1 inch, and it says equals, it's actually approximately. It's approximately 2.5 centimeters. So I have to change this to inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 5 centimeters, and I'm not going to multiply it by 2.54, because notice the 2.54 is already centimeters. I'm actually going to divide it by 2.54. Because if you can think to yourself, well, if every inch has 2.54 centimeters, and I have 5 centimeters, and I have to go back to inches, this number should get smaller, right? Because I'm going from this to this, okay? An inch is longer than a centimeter, so I need less of those. So when I divide that out, and I did that ahead of time, you are going to get, where did I do that? You are going to get, must not have written that down for some reason. Let me do that real quickly. So 5 divided by 2.54 is going to give me, big long decimal, we're going to say it's approximately 1.9 inches. Okay, so I've now converted from centimeters to inches. So now I have a tray that is 10 inches by 12 inches by 1.9 inches. So what I need to do to figure out how much paint will go in that tray, we're talking about volume. So that was kind of the test to see if you understood, hey, we're talking about volume. Volume is the amount of space I can fit inside a three-dimensional object. Okay, that's what volume is. So when I'm putting paint in this tray, I'm filling it up. That's volume. So I'm going to multiply the 10 times the 12 times the 1.9. So times 12 times 10. And that gives me approximately 120 inches, and this is cubed because it's volume. Volume is the amount of space inside a three-dimensional object. That's why we have that little 3 there. It's cubed. Okay. So we want to figure out. I'm missing some things here. Let me go back to the test to make sure I'm getting all this. Okay, so here we go. So we want to figure out which of the following scenarios will happen. Oh, that's right. We got to figure out, okay, our paint. So this right here is how much paint the tray can hold. Remember, we have 1 gallon of paint. Okay, so we want to know, well, what's going to happen with this scenario if I pour this 1 gallon in here? Well, this is gallons. This is inches cubed. Well, how does that work? Well, you'll notice down here, they tell me that 1 gallon can hold 231 inches cubed of paint. Okay, so now, let me go back here and see these scenarios here. I just want to see if I'm missing something here. So we got our, somewhere I multiplied wrong. Yeah, that's where, okay, I was wondering. Sorry, Airly, this number right here is wrong. I multiplied wrong somehow. I did the right math, but I multiplied. So I'm still going to multiply the 1.9 times the 10 times the 12. But when I do that, that's where I didn't multiply the 1.9. I'll actually get 236. That's why I was a little confused there. Okay. So again, my multiplying was wrong. I did the right work. So 10 times 12 times the 1.9, my dimensions, will give me 236 inches cubed. And down here, notice it says 1 gallon is equal to 231 inches cubed. So if I were to pour this entire gallon into this, I would be able to do that. And what would happen is I would have, if I subtract the 236 minus that 231, you can see I'm going to have approximately 5, and I think they gave an answer of 5.22 right here, 5.22 inches cubed left over. Okay. All right. So I'm hoping, Airly, that made sense. I'm hoping that helped. But as always, just reach out to me. Stay proactive. But remember also these assignments, yeah, they're affecting your grade greatly right now because you haven't taken any assessments, any quizzes, any tests. So review these, look over these, make sure you understand them. Ask me questions if you don't understand something, and we'll take it from there. All right, Airly, take care and keep working hard, all right? We will see you soon.